All right, Sean Zattel here with the undefeated man from Puerto Rico, headlining for the first time at Madison Square Garden on the weekend of the Puerto Rican Day Parade. Xander Zayas, what's going on, Xander?
Man, Sean, thank you for the introduction. I'm excited for this one, really happy, and ready to go. I'm ready to go.
Now you're fighting, Patrick Teixeira, former world champion who upset Carlos Adames, who went on to become, one of the top middleweights now in boxing. But before we get to your fight, man, at MSG, what the boxing world is still buzzing about what Ryan Garcia did on Saturday night, man. Did you see that coming? And what's your thoughts after that performance?
Being honest, I did not see it coming. I did say that if Ryan gets him with the hook or with one of those power shots, it could be trouble for Devin. But obviously, I didn't see it coming. I feel like Devin Haney had better IQ, better boxing skills. To, keep him from the outside and just outbox him. But just like he said in the post fight interview, he fell asleep. He went in there and he wasn't fully awake. He wasn't fully engaged in the fight, so he got caught. But by that time it was late. By that time he already in trouble. And man, Ryan just did what he needed to do. He stayed composed. He listened to the corner. He kept digging for it, and he found it.
What did impress you about Ryan in the fight?
I feel like just being able to keep that power going throughout the 12 rounds. Yeah, it was some rounds that it was he was taking off and he was just boxing and stuff. But being able to keep that power and that speed all throughout the 12 round was really impressive to me.
He did a lot of stuff to make the fight even bigger, to make himself even bigger. Do you, as a young fighter, at all? Because you're usually the well-mannered, polite kid, but does any part of you look at it like, man, I might have to incorporate some of that to get my name out there, or how do you
Nah,
look at it?
nah, like I mean, I don't know. Like the thing he was doing in social media just doesn't go with me. It just doesn't. I don't try to do too much in social media. I'll do all my work in the gym. But hey, if it works for him, keep doing it, brother. If he gets you the money that you need, keep doing it for sure.
And also on that, man, what do you think about a Tank rematch? Some people will say maybe at a higher weight it goes different, and then other people will say styles make fights. Tank will still do the same
Listen,
thing. What do you think?
he looked huge compared to Tank fight. He looked huge. I mean, he looked like he was walking around maybe 160 probably. He looked huge on Saturday's fight. But man, styles do make fight. Styles do make fight. Tang has great IQ. But again, this is boxing. You can't count nobody out, right? Um, maybe at a higher weight class or maybe with no hydration clause could be different. Um, but styles do make fight.
And lastly on Ryan and everything, there's talk about the weight. He came in 143.2. A lot of us knew even after the weigh-in, still picked Devin to win. But once you saw it play out, do you think weight affected anything or no?
Man, I, as we all know, I feel like Devin do suffer a little bit cutting weight. Um, so I feel like he should have done the same and not just take the money. Because at the end of the day, yeah, it's 1.5 or whatever they bet or whatever it was, but make him suffer. You gotta cut at least 2 pounds. That was 3.5 pounds that he was heavier than him on Wayne Day. So what about fight week or fight night? You get what I'm saying? So I would have, it might be in that position, I would have made him cut weight a little bit, knowing that I do struggle to cut weight. You get what I'm saying? Meaning like me being Devin Haney. Um, I would have made him cut weight, but he took the money. He thought it was going to be an easy night. I think everybody did. A lot of people did. Thought it was going to be an easy night for Devin Haney because of the boxing skills, the speed, the IQ. Um, but I feel like he did play it out a lot. I mean, he looked huge, and most of the time, Devin Haney is the one that looks big. This time Ryan looked 10 times bigger than him.
Anything that he's better at than maybe we overlooked that played out in the fight?
Man, his speed and his timing. I feel like a lot of people kind of forgot that he has great timing with that left hook and great speed. Obviously, with speed comes power. And we've seen what happens to Devin Haney every time he gets touched. We saw it with Linares. We've seen it with a couple people that every time he gets touched, he doesn't like, his reaction is not the best. So I feel like a lot of people, including myself, slept on Ryan's speed and timing with that left hook. Obviously, like, we also know, and it's not a secret, that every time Devin Haney throws a jab, his chin is up in the air and his backhand is away from his face. So I feel like it was just great timing, great speed that Ryan has, that just timed it perfectly over and over again. I feel like Devin Haney didn't make that adjustment. Even after the first round, he got caught. He kept it up here for maybe a couple rounds. Then he went back to it. He got caught again. So I feel like, the discipline wasn't there that night for Devin Haney. He stopped feigning. He stopped using his speed. He stopped using his legs. He wanted to fight something for some reason. I mean, for 31 fights, you've been boxing people. You've been outboxing people. Why try to change it now for no reason, just to try to prove a point? You don't have to prove a point. You got to get a victory. But yeah, I feel like everybody slept on Ryan's speed and timing.
Be crazy if you fight him one day, because he's talking about going to 54 for Fundora. That'd be crazy.
Hey,
you and Ryan.
Hey, if he moves up, it's a whole different waters out here. Whole different waters out here.